you can't buy something that's gonna make you better. I
Right.
don't know if I'm making it sound like it makes sense, but yeah.
It does. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I would also say because of that, right, it would have to cater to the biggest audience, right? Which
Yeah.
also does sometimes unhealthy things to the game because they're just trying to get the most casual people to be playing because biggest fan bases in games are always the most casual, right? So I would say they have been leaning more towards controller players and younger audiences because they're the more likely to buy skins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you're right in the sense. Yeah,
Uh,
because they want to cater to the people that are going to pay for the money
Exactly.
or pay for stuff.
To like keep funding their game.
yeah.
So I guess that's like that's a good way to see it because like it's not directly like it's not like directly impacting game. Like you can't buy a weapon that's going to make you a god in the game. But like the
Right.
fact that they're catering more towards people that would be willing to spend for cosmetics and in turn making them a little better at the game, like with controller players, their aim assist and whatnot.
All right. Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it does, man.
Because a lot of people play the game on console.
Hmm.
There are a lot more console players than they are PC folk. And anything really, there are a lot of people that have like consoles.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Hmm. Anyways, let's talk about the I think to me is the worst offender of them all, 2K. Most notably, their game NBA 2K20. If you've seen the trailer to 2K20, right? To NBA 2K20,
Mhm.
I haven't.
right? I was watching like the trailer 2K20. And I was like, they had like this thing where you pretty much gamble your money just to get random skins and whatnot in the game. And this is an E-Ray game. Well, I guess was it E10? No, E-Ray. I guess E-Ray game, and this goes against the ESRB whole. Let me put it this way. The game actually has a roulette wheel, a pachinko machine, and and uh and a slot machine outside of the regular loot box in the game where you pay actual money to gamble on whether or not you get some sort of skin or whatnot. I was watching this. I had no interest in paying in buying the game so that's why I didn't watch the trailer. But then I watched Angry Joe's like rant about it the on YouTube, and it was insane in in how the ERCB let this slide. You pretty much because like if you go to the ESRB sites, you'll notice that the AO rating talks about how if the game makes you gamble, use real world gambling, that's considered AO. It will not be considered it rated if not an M rating, but if it's like explicit gambling, then it's AO.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was a big 2K fan. Like when we were growing up,
Yeah.
we used to play it a lot. That and NBA Live. You remember in Tito's house and stuff? We used to buy all of
Yeah,
the
you guys just
things.
play NBA all the time.
And the last game that I played consistently was 2K17
Hmm.
because I just kind of was losing interest in updating rosters. It's basically always the same game, just more updated rosters.
Yeah.
They have some new features like
All right.
playgrounds and stuff where it's
Hmm.
like side you could play versus other people's my characters, your custom made character. But outside of that, they haven't really been updating a lot. I mean, they probably have in the last couple of years to just keep their fans, but the gambling system that's definitely a new thing, and I could see where that could get a little questionable because a big portion of their fans, like you said, are young, like they're kids, they're like teenagers. So it's like when you put something in front of them, they don't really notice even that it's gambling. They just like, oh, I want a skin, I want that sleeve for my character or something. And if you're going ham and charging it up, your parents probably won't even notice. You know what I mean?
Charging the credit card.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Billy, got multiple $5 charges in my account. It's like $1,000.
Yeah,
I had to get the sleeves, mom.
it's more disgusting when you think that it's a E-rate game, but it's insane. But yeah, this is. I would like to see that credit card bill that those kids would make.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, you got anything else to say, guys?
I mean, I wish I had played 2K. Was a little more aware of the like, or rather had an understanding of what was going on with it, of that exact situation.
Yeah,
But in terms of navigating the entire in-game purchases slash DLC, I think the idea is like developers would like to make more money, especially with games. Now, I guess there could be an argument that games have always been like I guess, overpriced before, and now,
yeah.
um,
Now with DLC
well,
and
what I
microtransactions.
wanted to tie into is that because the price of games, and I guess if you include DLC, then yeah, maybe the games are more. But like if we're talking about like the base price, it's been $60 at least ever since I was born. It's been like $60 for consoles, and the handhelds are usually like $40 or so. I don't think there's ever been
Mhm.
like a handheld game that was like 60, but I could I can be wrong. Um, and I guess like with inflation and whatnot, that like games their prices haven't risen to like, adjust for that.
Mhm.
Um, but that being said, perhaps like $60 has always been like overpriced, and now it's just leveled out. But I think they're just looking for a more sustainable way to like make money off of a game. Because usually when you buy a game, or rather when they release a game, you get like that shot of money for like the first month or so from people buying the game like right then and there. Then after that, that's it. Like it's a constant like I have to put out a new game in order to get more money,
Right.
in order to profit. Like versus like if you release like a service, for instance, like let's say I know this isn't games, but let's say like Microsoft Office. Office it used to be like you could buy the entire suite, and perhaps you still can. You'd buy the entire suite for like let's say 100 $150, but that's it. Like you have that suite for life until like whenever Microsoft releases a new edition of like Microsoft Office. And what Microsoft has done is that instead of buying the whole suite, you pay like $7 $8 a month, let's say. You get the whole suite, but now you're paying monthly. And what that allows them to do is like they're not getting that big shot of money like right at the beginning, but now they have you purchasing a service, which once you get past like 2 years, they're starting to make this. They're starting to make more money than they would have had they like sold you the entire suite for that one time purchase.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's what Microsoft is doing. Same thing with like their keys too. They actually You can actually install Microsoft Windows and not have to install a key because they would rather you like have Windows installed. I believe I was watching something. I was explaining this. But Microsoft will let you have Windows installed without the key and let you continue to get updates. And there's a purpose for it, but they find that to be more profitable than trying to make money off of like selling keys.
Right. I feel
Um,
like it definitely would be a smarter business, like model only
yeah,
because you said instead of a bunch of bursts, um, spike in prices or in stock price, then like a level off or like a decline because let's say they
Yeah.
buy the keys during the December, then the rest of the year it kind of like there's not people really buying new computers
Yeah.
over and over again. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
income will look better on the books for them.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just that they need more money is all. But problem
Oh,
is,
well, returning to DLC, I think not all in. I know we're extending this topic. I don't think not all DLC is inherently bad. I do appreciate it where if when you buy a game, they give you like kind of like free updates for like an extra year or so to the game. Um, I think it's it's case by case. Like if the original game that I'm playing has like 100 plus hours of like content, like let's say an RPG, like if I play the game for like 100 plus hours and you're like, hey, you know, we worked on like a $20 DLC, we added like 20 hours of new content for you to enjoy this game with. I think that's fair and probably even like a good thing that like you just, you gave me 100 hours. Oh, if I pay $20 more, I'm getting even more content to enjoy this game that like I spent so much time on. Like I think that's pretty cool. Um but I know like what we're talking about with this kind of like in-game purchase, it's more so like a limiting of like gameplay. But yeah, go ahead. My bad.
I would also say I have an example of a kind of genre which is in-game purchase as well. It's called Gotcha. I don't know if you guys ever played a game like that, but it's
I've
kind of
heard
like
I've heard the phrase.
we played
like
a
like
game.
Gachamon or something.
It's kind of is Gotchamon, but it's like the little capsules in game where basically it's kind of like gambling too. It comes from Japan, so it's mostly like Dragon Ball Z game. I know has it. Ragnarok Online. That's a big game we played. We got a little bit of fame on there, me and Joe. And it was an MMO. It basically came out in 2000 and I would say maybe 2001 or maybe 1999. But it's the same exact game, the same MMO Ragnarok, but they just put little capsules in the game where we would pay and they released monthly like new skins and stuff. But the thing that was broken about that game was that the currency in game and the currency that you could buy were like basically infused. So you can use the currency you buy to buy in game currency. So it was like very broken in terms of like someone could dump thousands of dollars in the game and become huge. We called it whales. So people that would spend thousands and thousands of dollars of real life money to get strong in the game. And there was some in-game purchases that you could buy that were just like straight broken. So imagine in WoW, if you bought like a back piece where it was just like they look like wings, but then they increase your damage by 20%. It's like what? Like
Oh yeah.
why would they
That'd be
allow you to do that, bro? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
It's
so
broken.
yeah, straight broke.
unfair too.
And that's what you're dealing with at the time. Like at the beginnings of the game, so at launch, we were like showing the free to play players that you could be pretty strong and stuff. Like we were doing some high level content, but then soon the servers were only filled with like people that were paying to keep relevant. So that's why I just like slowly got off that game. I was just like, I mean, not say nothing about this, but yeah, there's definitely some abusers of this in-game currency stuff, and I feel like they at that point the the developers didn't care because they came out with a new Ragnarok game like a year later. So it's like they know that they're just gonna ride the hype, get as much money as possible, and then just abandon ship. It's pretty sucks. Like I don't know what to do about those things other than not support those developers, but they're getting very crafty with the way that they're